Hello, my friends, and welcome to a new episode of The Power of Surrender, where every day we take a card from the deck, The Power of Surrender by Dr Judith Orloff, and I chat about it with you for your inspiration and food for thought in these challenging times that we're living in. Today, the card is Surrender to Your Intuition. Very, very interesting card. Now, just to say, what is your intuition? It's like your gut feeling that you get. It's just your instincts. You feel a little tingling. You go, oh, this feels good, or this doesn't feel right, or and it's something that you develop over time. I know that I've been fortunate that as time has gone on, as I've developed my intuition more, when I meet people, I can tell a lot about them very quickly. I guess that could be some of my psychic ability as well, for sure. But people can't lie to me at all now. I just see absolutely through people like glass. Sorry, but it's just true. And that's just, again, that's something that's built up over time. But it starts with little gut feelings like this is the right thing to do or it's the wrong thing to do. And it develops into as it goes on, and so you start. Basically, this card is about learning to listen to your intuition, surrender to it, trust it. And it says here, tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. Now, I want to talk about those aha moments, because I think we've all had those where you could be thinking about 1,000 different things, and all of a sudden all the pieces of the puzzle come together and you go, oh my, and you just have that realization. And that is your intuition, your instinct kicking in. And sometimes you get little flashes of, I know I've had experiences of like you kind of have a flash of how a situation or a relationship, what's going to happen next, and then it happens and you're like, I totally saw this before it happened. And I don't just mean something negative, it could be positive things as well, but these are the kind of things that we're talking about, the aha moments, little flashes of, I know what's going to happen next, and then you see it happen, and then you start to trust your instinct. Is that foretelling the future? That's open to debate. Maybe you're able to tell from experience that you've learned over the years and patterns that you see. You're able to kind of see where things are going. But it's a very, very powerful thing. I cannot stress to you enough, and the ability to use your intuition wisely, gracefully, is very, very helpful to you, and especially in the times that we're going through right now when it's hard to kind of see the wood for the trees. There's a lot of things been said on the news. What do you believe? What do you not believe? I would say mostly don't believe everything you see in the news, but I'll leave that up to you to decide. But that's because I've watched the news for many years now, over and over, and I see the patterns. I see the way that they present the news. I remember I was in America when the news became a 24-hour news cycle. I believe it was during the beginning of the first Gulf War. And that's the first time that news channels went 24 hours non-stop. So I've seen some changes take place in the media, and I've seen there's been a lot of different high-profile journalists who's been caught in stretching the truth in some of their stories. And so it's kind of opened up the way that we look at journalists and the news in a different way. It's not quite the way it used to be. People who'd be out there fighting to go and find the truth for us, and unbiased in their reporting. Unfortunately, that is not the case anymore. We have most news channels that are rooting for, or if not the cheerleaders for, a particular political persuasion or party. Again, just you don't have to watch the news for very long to figure that out. That's we're talking about intuition. You're watching something and go, God, this doesn't feel right. That's again intuition. The thing that I think is interesting though about this, to keep it positive, because when we talk about the news and politics, it can tend to go another way. The thing about it is just trust your. It's like, just because they tell you something on the news or because all your neighbours are saying something doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. You have to trust and learn to trust what is true for you. It has been proven over here on many occasions. I I'm trying not to go dark here, but the government has come out and publicly acknowledged that they have completely messed up the numbers with COVID before, in fact almost doubling the cases as they claimed. And now we're supposed to be believing anything that they're saying after they did that. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you to make up your mind, that this is where you use your intuition, what feels right to you, and you have those aha moments. I do a football podcast with my son, and one of the things we're going to be talking about is the situation with COVID, where one player, Ronaldo, one of the most famous players in the world, is diagnosed with COVID. And while he is self-isolating, the rest of the team that he was just playing with the day before don't seem to have to do any kind of isolation. Whereas a player for our team, Arsenal, went to Scotland. He's been tested negative 3 times, but because he was in the general vicinity of a player who was given the diagnosis positive, then he had to self-isolate for 14 days. If you can explain to me how those two line up, they don't. There's an example of where you have to use your intuition and go, there's something to just feel right about that. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make in all of this is to get to learn and trust your gut instinct. And as you go forward and you start to trust it even more, because you say, oh wow, thank God I turned left instead of right there, because my gut instinct was not to go down that way, and you find it's such a powerful thing, and it gives you great confidence in life as well, because you feel like I've got this inner radar for the truth, or inner sensors for the truth, and it really is helpful. Will you get it right every single time? No, but part of getting it right and wrong, so to speak, right and wrong in inverted commas, is part of learning and discovering the truth of it. So my friends, I hope you got some inspiration and got some food for thought. We went in all kinds of directions talking about this card today, but have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will be back tomorrow with another card. Boom.